Speak this and watch heaven open for your abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn. In this very moment, as these words reach your consciousness, you stand at the threshold of a profound spiritual awakening. The universe is waiting, poised to respond to the vibrations you send forth through your spoken word. Florence Scovel Shinn understood what most of humanity has forgotten, that every word you speak carries the creative power of the divine. And when aligned with spiritual law, your voice becomes the very instrument through which heaven opens its floodgates of abundance. Your words are not mere sounds floating in the air. They are living seeds of creation, planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. When you speak with conscious awareness of this truth, you become a co-creator with the divine intelligence that governs all life. The ancient wisdom declares, "In the beginning was the Word," and this word continues to speak through you when you align your consciousness with divine truth. Consider for a moment the extraordinary power that lies dormant within your vocal cords. Every time you speak, you are literally reshaping reality. You are either calling forth blessing or limitation, abundance or lack, joy or sorrow. The universe does not judge your words. It simply responds to their vibrational frequency with mathematical precision. This is the sacred law of correspondence. As within, so without. As above, so below. As you speak, so it shall be. But here lies the great tragedy of most human experience. People use their divine gift of speech to rehearse their fears, repeat their limitations, and reinforce the very conditions they claim to want to change. They speak of shortage when they desire abundance, of illness when they seek health, of loneliness when they long for love. In doing so, they become their own worst enemy, blocking the very channels through which their good could flow. Today, this pattern ends for you. Today, you reclaim your divine birthright as a conscious creator. You begin to understand that your word is your wand, your voice is your vehicle for transformation, and your speech is your sacred offering to the universe. When you speak from this elevated consciousness, you align yourself with the infinite abundance that is your natural inheritance. The moment has come to recognize that you are not separate from the source of all supply. You are an individualized expression of that source, equipped with all the creative power necessary to manifest the life of your dreams. Your spoken word becomes the bridge between the invisible realm of infinite possibility and the visible world of manifest experience. Through conscious speech, you learn to command your good to appear, to speak your desires into existence, and to watch as heaven itself responds to your faith-filled declarations. This is not mere positive thinking. This is spiritual law in action. When you speak with the authority of one who knows their divine nature, when you declare your good with unwavering faith, when you use your voice as an instrument of divine will, you set into motion forces that cannot be stopped. The entire universe conspires to fulfill the divine plan you speak into existence. The greatest obstacle to your abundance is not what others have done to you, nor is it the circumstances of your birth, your education, or your past failures. The greatest obstacle to your abundance lives in the secret chambers of your own mind, in the limiting beliefs you have accepted as truth, in the fearful thoughts you have rehearsed until they became convictions, and in the words you speak that reinforce your experience of lack rather than your reality of infinite supply. Every human being is born into a world of collective limitation consciousness, a mass hypnosis that declares scarcity is real, struggle is necessary, and abundance is reserved for the lucky few. From your earliest days, you absorbed these false beliefs like a sponge absorbs water. You heard the adults around you speak of not enough money, not enough time, not enough opportunities. You witnessed their struggles and unconsciously accepted their limitations as your own inevitable destiny. But here is the liberating truth that Florence Scovel Shinn discovered and taught. These limitations exist only in consciousness, not in reality. The universe itself knows no shortage. It operates from infinite abundance, endless creativity, and boundless supply. Every limitation you have experienced has been a product of limited thinking, and every breakthrough you've ever had has come when you momentarily transcended those mental barriers and aligned with truth. The scarcity you see around you is not proof of universal lack. It is evidence of humanity's collective forgetting of its divine nature. When you observe poverty, competition, and struggle, you are witnessing the outward manifestation of inward limitation consciousness. But when you see examples of effortless prosperity, miraculous healing, and abundant flow, you catch glimpses of what becomes possible when consciousness aligns with spiritual law. Your work now is to systematically dismantle every limiting belief that has taken residence in your mind. This is not done through struggle or force, but through the gentle persistence of speaking truth until it overwhelms every lie you have believed about your possibilities. Every time you catch yourself speaking words of limitation, you must immediately replace them with words of truth. Every time fear tries to dictate your declarations, you must choose faith instead. Remember this fundamental principle. The universe can only give you what your consciousness is prepared to receive. If your inner conversations are filled with doubt, worry, and fear, you create a vibrational barrier that blocks your good from reaching you. But when you fill your consciousness with faith, gratitude, and expectation of blessing, you create an irresistible magnetic attraction that draws your desires to you with divine speed. This transformation of consciousness requires vigilance, but not strain. Like a gardener who patiently tends their garden, pulling weeds and planting seeds, you must consistently tend the garden of your mind. Pull out every thought that does not serve your highest good, and plant seeds of truth that will grow into a harvest of abundance beyond your wildest imagination. The chains of limitation consciousness can only hold you as long as you believe they are real. The moment you recognize them as illusions of the unawakened mind, they lose all power over you. You are free. You have always been free to choose thoughts that align with your divine nature and to speak words that call forth the abundance that is your spiritual birthright. Faith is not merely a religious concept. It is the fundamental force that governs all creation. Faith is the invisible substance from which all visible things are formed, the spiritual energy that bridges the gap between desire and manifestation. When you speak with genuine faith, you are not simply hoping for something to happen. You are actively participating in the divine creative process that brings all things into existence. Most people misunderstand the nature of faith. They think faith means believing despite the evidence, hoping against hope, or trying to convince themselves that something might happen. This is not faith. This is wishful thinking mixed with doubt. True faith, the faith that Florence Scovel Shinn taught and demonstrated, is the unwavering knowing that what you speak in alignment with divine law is already accomplished in the invisible realm and must manifest in the visible world. Faith-filled speaking begins with the recognition that there are two realms of existence: the visible world of effects and the invisible world of causes. Everything you see with your physical eyes first existed as an idea, a thought, a spoken word in the realm of consciousness. The chair you sit in, the building you inhabit, the relationships you enjoy, all of these began as invisible thoughts that were given form through the creative process. When you speak with faith, you are working from the causal realm, the place where all creation begins. You are not trying to manipulate the physical world through force or struggle. You are aligning your consciousness with the divine pattern that already exists in perfect completion. Your faith-filled words become the vessel through which this perfect pattern manifests in your experience. This is why Jesus taught that you must believe you have received before you see the evidence with your physical eyes. This is not self-deception. This is spiritual law. In the realm of consciousness, your good already exists in perfect completion. Your faith-filled speaking acknowledges this truth and calls it forth into visible manifestation. But faith without works is dead, and the work required of you is the consistent discipline of speaking only words that align with your desired outcome. Every time you speak doubt, you withdraw faith from your account. Every time you speak fear, you invest in limitation. Every time you speak words of defeat, you vote against your own victory. Your spoken words are either deposits or withdrawals in your faith account. Choose to make deposits. The universe responds not to your needs, your desires, or your hopes. It responds to your faith. When you speak with absolute conviction that your good is already accomplished, you create a vibrational frequency that cannot be denied. The physical world must rearrange itself to match the spiritual truth you have declared with unwavering faith. This requires a fundamental shift in how you approach your challenges. Instead of speaking about your problems as permanent realities, you must begin to speak of their solutions as already accomplished facts. Instead of describing your lack, you must declare your abundance. Instead of rehearsing your fears, you must proclaim your victories. This is not denial of current circumstances. This is the conscious choice to align your words with spiritual truth rather than physical appearances. Everything in the universe vibrates, and abundance is not an exception. It is a specific vibrational frequency that you can learn to embody and emanate. When you align your thoughts, words, and emotions with the vibration of abundance, you become a magnet that attracts prosperity, opportunities, and blessings from every direction. This is not metaphorical language. This is the precise description of how spiritual law operates in the realm of manifestation. The universe is an infinite ocean of supply, constantly circulating and flowing. Abundance is not something you must create or earn. It is something you must learn to receive by attuning yourself to its natural flow. Like a radio that must be tuned to the proper frequency to receive a specific station, your consciousness must be tuned to the frequency of abundance to receive its endless broadcast. Most people unknowingly tune themselves to the frequency of lack. They focus on what they don't have, speak words of limitation, and emit the vibration of need and desperation. This creates a repelling force that pushes abundance away from them. They wonder why their efforts to improve their financial situation seem to fail, not realizing that their inner vibration is broadcasting a signal of lack that the universe faithfully matches with corresponding experiences. The abundance vibration is characterized by gratitude for what you already possess, faith in the unlimited nature of supply, and the generous circulation of whatever good flows through your life. When you vibrate at this frequency, you naturally speak words of appreciation, blessing, and expectation of increased good. You move through life with the confidence of one who knows that the universe is conspicuously designed to support their highest good. To cultivate the abundance vibration, you must begin each day by acknowledging the countless blessings that already surround you. The air you breathe is provided freely, the sun shines without sending you a bill, your heart beats without requiring your conscious effort. You live in an abundant universe that gives constantly and unconditionally. When you begin from this foundation of gratitude, you align yourself with the natural flow of universal supply. But abundance is not meant to stop with you, it is meant to flow through you. You are not a reservoir designed to hoard blessings, but a river through which good can flow to others. When you give freely and joyfully, you create space for even greater abundance to flow into your life. When you bless others with your words, your resources, and your energy, you set in motion the law of circulation that ensures your own continuous supply. The words you speak either accelerate or restrict this flow. When you speak blessings upon others, you bless yourself. When you celebrate another person's success, you align yourself with the frequency of success. When you speak words of prosperity and abundance, you become a transmitting station for these very qualities. And the universe must respond by bringing you experiences that match your vibrational output. This is why envy, jealousy, and competition are so destructive to your abundance. These emotions and the words they generate create a vibration of lack that immediately restricts the flow of good into your life. When you see another person's prosperity as evidence that there is less for you, you operate from the false belief in limited supply, and this belief creates limitation in your experience. The most revolutionary truth you will ever discover is this: abundance is not something you must achieve. It is something you must remember. You are not a limited being seeking abundance. You are an abundant being who has temporarily forgotten your true nature. Your divine identity is not that of a struggling human hoping for prosperity. It is that of a spiritual being whose very essence is unlimited supply, infinite creativity, and boundless possibility. This truth strikes at the heart of every limitation you have ever experienced. Every financial struggle, every moment of lack, Every experience of want has been based on the false identification with your temporary physical circumstances rather than your eternal spiritual reality. You have been looking for abundance in all the wrong places, seeking in the outer world what can only be found by recognizing your inner divine nature. The moment you truly understand that you are not separate from the source of all supply, everything changes. You realize that seeking abundance is like a wave trying to find the ocean. You are already one with infinite abundance because you are an individualized expression of the infinite source. Your supply is not dependent on external conditions, economic circumstances, or other people's decisions. Your supply flows from the inexhaustible fountain of divine abundance that you are. This recognition requires a fundamental shift in your self-concept. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who needs abundance, you must begin to see yourself as someone through whom abundance naturally flows. Instead of feeling unworthy of prosperity, you must recognize that your divine nature makes you inherently deserving of all good things. Instead of struggling to attract abundance, you must simply remove the barriers that block its natural expression through you. These barriers exist primarily in the realm of false beliefs and limiting self-concepts. Every time you say, "I can't afford it," you deny your divine nature. Every time you speak of yourself as poor, struggling, or limited, you reinforce a false identity that contradicts spiritual truth. Every time you accept lack as your reality, you choose to forget who you really are. Your work now is to consistently affirm and embody your true spiritual identity. This is not pretense or self-deception. This is the recognition of truth. You are a divine being, created in the image and likeness of infinite abundance. You are equipped with all the spiritual resources necessary to manifest whatever you need for your highest good. You are connected to the inexhaustible supply of the universe, and this connection can never be broken. When you speak from this elevated understanding of your divine identity, your words carry a power and authority that cannot be denied. You no longer plead with the universe for your good. You claim it as your divine right. You no longer hope for abundance. You expect it as the natural expression of your spiritual nature. You no longer struggle to overcome lack. You simply dissolve it through the recognition of your inherent wholeness. This transformation of identity must be reflected in every word you speak. You must discipline yourself to speak only words that affirm your divine nature and unlimited possibilities. When someone asks how you are, instead of reciting your problems, you declare your blessings. When facing challenges, instead of speaking defeat, you proclaim your victory. When confronted with appearances of lack, you declare the truth of your abundant nature. As you stand at the completion of this spiritual journey, you are no longer the same person who began reading these words. You have been transformed by truth, elevated by wisdom, and empowered by the recognition of your divine nature. You now possess the keys to unlock heaven's abundant supply and manifest it as your living reality on earth. The heaven that Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of is not a distant place you reach after death. It is a state of consciousness you can embody right now. Heaven is the awareness of your divine nature, the recognition of infinite supply, and the experience of harmony between your desires and their fulfillment. When you consistently speak words aligned with spiritual truth, you create heaven on earth as your daily experience. This manifestation begins the moment you choose to speak differently than you have ever spoken before. Every word becomes a sacred offering to the divine intelligence that governs your life. Every declaration becomes a prayer that activates spiritual law. Every affirmation becomes a key that unlocks another door to greater abundance, deeper joy, and more perfect expression of your divine nature. The transformation you experience will be reflected in every area of your life. Your financial circumstances will shift as you speak words of prosperity and abundance. Your relationships will improve as you speak words of love and appreciation. Your health will flourish as you declare your perfect wholeness. Your career will expand as you speak words of success and fulfillment. This is not magic. This is the natural result of aligning your consciousness with truth. But remember, this power comes with great responsibility. As you witness the miraculous response of the universe to your faith-filled words, you must use this gift wisely and for the highest good of all concerned. Abundance is not meant to serve selfish purposes, but to enable you to be a greater blessing to the world around you. Your prosperity should lift others, your success should inspire hope, and your joy should kindle light in darkened hearts. The words you speak now will echo through eternity, creating ripples of blessing that extend far beyond what you can see. Every time you choose faith over fear, truth over limitation, love over judgment, you contribute to the elevation of human consciousness. You become a living demonstration of what becomes possible when someone remembers their divine nature and speaks from that exalted state. This is your moment of decision. Will you return to the old patterns of limitation-based speaking, or will you step fully into your role as a conscious creator? Will you use your voice to rehearse problems, or will you discipline yourself to declare solutions? Will you speak words that bind you to limitation, or will you speak words that set you free to experience the boundless abundance that is your spiritual birthright? The choice is yours, and the power is within you. You have been equipped with everything necessary to transform your life through the sacred power of your spoken word. Now go forth and speak with the authority of one who knows their divine nature. Declare your good with unwavering faith. Watch as heaven itself responds to your words, opening its floodgates to pour out blessings so abundant that you will not have room enough to receive them all. Your abundant life awaits your command. Speak and watch heaven open for your abundance.